Hi everyone, Hothany Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Madeon record, Good Faith. This is the newest full-length project from French-born songwriter, producer, electronic musician, pop alchemist, Madeon. I first heard of his stuff back in 2015 with the release of his debut album, Adventure. The music on that project, I wasn't crazy about. It mostly just hit me like a very formulaic, derivative, EDM-friendly brand of electropop. Don't get me wrong, there's some fun, euphoric, and even epic music packed into this record, like the song OK, or the track Imperium, but the consistently boring vocal guests, combined with the overall lack of interesting textures and the very synthetic to the point of sterile sound of these songs, put me in a place where I doubted if I would ever be a part of the Madeon fan base. It's been 4 years since the release of that record, though, so I thought I would give his new one a fair shot just out of curiosity and a lot of suggestions from you guys, of course. And it's definitely a trimmer project at 35 minutes. The production isn't really any less smooth than it was on the previous record, but at least Madeon's use of effects combined with the extra layering he throws into this record, it makes for a pretty fantastical listen. And the vocal features that are here on this project, they fit pretty seamlessly into the album. They aren't distracting, they don't feel like they're driving a change in tone across the track list, which makes for a more cohesive listen. And not just all of that, but the sweet, sweet bliss he's able to conjure across this record makes it a cut above its predecessor. On the opening track, Dream, 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 I'm not sure what's more attention-grabbing. Is it the creatively chopped and luscious vocal harmonies? Or is it the cloudy bursts of enveloping synths that fill the mix with rainbows of color? The vocals are a bit sleepy, but I do like the robotic processing on them. It makes it feel like I'm listening to, I don't know, an AI get in touch with its programmed emotions. I get a similar vibe off the track Be Fine, which even though it has a bolder groove, hookier structure, still lead vocals are very similar, and they're also enhanced with these also gorgeous group vocal sections. So at the start of this project, already I am impressed more with what I am hearing than I was with any Madeon track so far. Not to say this project is perfect, though. There are points at which the vocals just don't really hit all that hard, like the utterly forgettable closing track. Also on the track All My Friends, where the singing is so unblemished and nearly soulless that it's hard to connect. I guess it reminds me of many lead vocal passages from Daft Punk's Discovery, but if you stripped out anything that was emotionally compelling. I do love the dance grooves on the track, though, the cute little production details Madeon throws in here and there, but still talking about the vocals, the worst of which I think comes through on the track Heavy with Hoping, which looked to be credited to singer and songwriter Audra May, someone whose work, once I listened to it, she does not typically sound like this. Madeon must have taken her voice and pitched it down in a way where it has this very awkward, weird, androgynous quality to it, which is something I've heard done well before, Dorian fucking Electra, but I can't say that's the case here. On all these songs where I'm not crazy about the vocal, Madeon is still bringing some instrumental heat, some grooves, which is also the case for the cuts where he features little vocals or no vocals at all, like with the huge horn sections and fat hip-hop beats toward the end of Hold Me Just Because, which to my ears sound like Jon Bellion if Jon Bellion wasn't such a snooze fest. Too bad most of what happens up to this point of this track is a little bland. We also have the track Mania, which is a beautiful arpeggiated synth odyssey. The introduction of the track features this primal drumming, a rubbery and whimsical lead melody. Then we go full throttle with these heavy, punchy beats. When we're building up with these awesome synth arpeggios toward the finish, it feels like I'm just flying up a mountain with my anime crew. You know, we're just making stances. Ga, 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 ga. Then there's also the track Miracle, which features these bright, shimmering blasts of group vocals. Just pitched samples that create this incredible feeling of euphoria. It's like the rapture is hitting and I'm being brought up to electropop heaven with some slick grooves and tasteful progressions. The introduction is another moment that feels a little Daft Punk inspired with a side of Porter Robinson and a splash of Kanye West, especially in the samples and drums. And I would say the Kanye influence turns up one more time in a bold way on the track Nirvana. After a dramatic vocal intro, Madeon hits us with these thunderous drums, bright, just ringing synthesizers that feel like they're a product of the Graduation era. Of course, all of this is enhanced by these repeating vocal samples, twittering hi-hats, a hip-hop beat, and I think Madeon makes it his own with these very glossy, shimmery layers of synths that are very consistent with the bright, futuristic, and synthetic aesthetic most of this record shoots for. So I love that Madeon on this record is able to effectively show off so many influences in a very obvious way, while simultaneously creating a listen on this record that has a strong sense of identity to it. That to me says, hey, it's fantastic that Madeon has a very strong sense of his artistic self, which I still think is a work in progress, because while the consistently glossy, idyllic, and euphoric sound that Madeon brings to the table is nice, I don't find it to be all that versatile. A lot of tracks on this project really pale in comparison to others, especially on the vocal end. And once more, I think Madeon's sound palettes really could use some more texture, some shaking up, and maybe cast a wider net of influences to pull from next time too. Overall though, I thought this was a decent, very likable electropop record with some very bright and feel-good sounds on it. I'm feeling a decent 2 strong 6 on this one. Transition, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is a video you could check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Madeon, forever.